you guys like that Shannon Elizabeth panel, or did you love that Shannon Elizabeth panel? That's what I'm talking about. We always tell you guys to expect the unexpected, and I can tell you that this next guy coming up here, this is the second time we've had him up here on the stage, and I'm so glad to have him back. He's such an awesome, fun guy. We're gonna bring him out right now. The one, the only, Bam Magera! Say hi, man. There's your mic right here.
What up?
So, I'm gonna make some of you guys out there happy, because the last time that you took the stage up here, there was a little show that you were on that we could not talk about at all, that you did back in the day. And now this time, we can talk about it in positive lights, and that show is Jackass.
Yeah, you know, they're sifting through old footage, which there's a hell of a lot of that never made it to the movie, whether it was too gnarly or just, you know, wouldn't fit in a 2-hour film. Nobody wants to sit there and watch anything that's, you know, when everybody's like, yo, Avatar's awesome, you gotta check it out. How long is it again? It's 3 hours. Yeah, no thanks. I'll wait till it fucking comes to the TV. I'm not sitting there for 3 hours.
So you're looking good, man. This is, I mean, it was like a year and a half ago that you're here. You're looking good, man. How are you feeling right now?
I feel great. You know, I actually got 5150. If you don't know what that is, it means you have to do 90 days in a Florida treatment center, and when the interventionist knows that you have good insurance, they tend to keep you there for eternity. So I did 2.5 years. It would be the 88th day, and I would be like, I'm getting out in 2 days, and he would walk in and be like, you've been rocking those same pants for like 4 days now. I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to get any pussy in here. He's like, that's bad hygiene. You're doing another 90 days in another place, and I did that for 2.5 years, and it made me just want to drink even more. But luckily now, enough was enough. I'm a year and a half sober now since September 28th, and thank you. My wife says I have a gay boyfriend. It's called vodka. If it touches my lips, I'm cheating. So
you know what? Let's go to that. I'm going to give you a meatball question. You've said your life has changed so much in the past year and a half or so. How much of that do you attribute to the last time you were here was your girlfriend? Now she's your wife.
Yeah.
How much of that do you attribute to Danny Murray, your wife? Where is she?
Yeah,
She's there. Let's give her a big round of applause. She's been a big help here. So why don't you wax poetic about your wife?
So yeah, in 2013, the doctor looked at my legs. He said that they were like dry rotted rubber bands from alcohol abuse. Good luck trying to skateboard again. And reached down to touch your toes, and I did. And my hamstring popped, and I was out for a year, which made me drink even more. And when I met Danny over here, she's like, I'm a stretch coach, and don't listen to that doctor at all. I will stretch your legs an hour a day, and they will be back to normal in no time flat. And she proved the doctor wrong, because now my legs feel like I'm 20 again, and all I want to do is skateboard. So my passion to that's back, and you know, when you get out of treatment on 18 different medications that you're forced to take to the point where you can't even cry or cum, you know, I'm 250 pounds because it leads to weight gain, stiff muscles, erectile dysfunction, hair loss, suicidal tendencies, which I was getting. So to get on a skateboard, it's pretty much like Nyjah Houston's one of the best skateboarders right now. If I made him hold 2 50-pound weights and kickflip a pyramid, he either wouldn't do it or it would take him an hour, and he'd be thrown his board in frustration. So that's what I was doing. So I met this shaman named Naveed from Iran who lived in Escondido. He became my best friend, but he had very strict rules. He would, at 5 o'clock in the morning, poop, 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 let's go. We would hike 8 miles up a mountain, and I lost 100 pounds in like less than 3 months.
How awesome is that? How awesome is that? So we're going to go back to the whole Jackass 5 thing here really quick. So is there any footage that you're hoping, this lost footage, this group of footage, is there any footage you're hoping actually made it into the movie? Do you know what stuff is there, what stuff didn't make it in?
All right, this is pretty X-rated, but I gotta say it. So there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make it in. And I remember I asked Dave England what he got at Venice Beach today, and he revealed me the footage. So he's sitting there with an easel, like one of those, like, pay $10 and I'll draw your face as a cartoon. This 80-year-old lady comes up and agrees to do it. She sits there for 10 minutes. He's sitting there going like this, only to reveal like a naked stick figure with her tits, and it just says slut. And she's like figuring herself. She's like, oh my God, you need church. And I'm like, yeah, no. MTV will never ever play this.
So we can hope that that's going to be in the new movie?
You know, I mean, that's just, for instance, of one bit that was like completely over the top, but I laughed my ass off. I'm like, this is so horrible that there's no way that TV is going to let this be on there.
Do you ever look back at your time on the show and go, what was I thinking? Why did I allow this to ever happen? That's the most ridiculous thing. What am I thinking?
Well, that's the thing. You know, a lot of times you don't know what's going to happen, and the worst decision I ever made was to tell the director that I'll film anything except for I hate snakes, I'm terrified of snakes. All that was pretty much saying is put snakes all over Bam.
I absolutely remember this episode and the absolute abject horror on your face.
I'll film anything, but if you get a snake near me, everybody's going down. I'm pretty much saying throw snakes on me. So what happens? I think I'm going to do the Rocky on Jeff Tremaine, and I sneak to the back of an 18-wheeler, and they cut a giant hole in there about 18 feet deep, and I just fell through the hole, and there's all these like fake rubber snakes all around, and I'm like, this can't be the end of the bit. Then I look up, and it's just David Weathers, the snake handler guy, just throwing hundreds of big-ass snakes on me, to the point where I like cried, I had a panic attack, I was really losing it. If they would have told me that that was going to happen, I would have been on the first plane out of there for sure.
So hold on for a second. So you're on a show, you told them, I don't want snakes around, but yet you know there's a snake handler on the show. That's a bad omen right there.
Well, he kind of handled a lot of reptiles, so it never really crossed my mind that he was there for me. You know, because I think Steve-O just got bit in the ass by an alligator, which he was handling that too, and whatever else. So they never really showed me this massive box of honestly 100 snakes. They were like the big python kind.
Forget that. I don't think there's anybody here that wants to be in that.
And you know, even if they told me, which they didn't, don't worry, you're laying on 100 snakes, but we devenomized them. I don't care. I don't fucking care. Ooh. They're devenomized.
So you said that you've gotten back into skateboarding a lot recently. Skateboarding is your passion, and the version of Bam that has been digitized to be in a video game is now back in a video game with Tony Hawk. Let's talk about being able to get put back in that video game and how that affected you.
This actually happened so randomly because I haven't at this time I didn't talk to Tony Hawk for at least a year. Simply because, you know, you don't really want to see your friends like that when you're constantly like drunk or whatever. So I just let it go and I didn't call him. And now that I've been sober, I had a day off in California and I was like, babe, should I give Tony Hawk a call and see what he's up to? And she's like, yeah, why not? So I called him up. He said he's at the vert ramp skating, come down, thinking that I was just going to come by and say hi. Well, we wound up ollieing over each other on the big vert ramp channel. He's like, what the hell? You are back. I was like, yeah, man, I'm skating every day. I've been tracking a year. He's like, you know, there's supposed to be a deadline for this video game, but being you've been in the prior ones already, we already have you scanned in that spandex suit with the balls that they put on you and track your style. So everything's already in the computer. All you have to do is wear a new outfit and we're going to get you in time. So if I wouldn't have called him that day, then none of that would have happened.
It was actually the next morning?
Yeah. They made that decision the next morning.
So does anybody have any questions out there want to talk about the things we've talked about so far in that range? Oh, look at this. We got some questions coming up here to the mic.
My reputation precedes me. First of all, thank you so much for what you do. Google rates you as #1, the best skateboarder in the world.
Wow.
Planet. Tony Hawk is number 2,
Wow.
according to Google.
Well, that's cool.
And Barbara. According to Google and Barbara.
I can name a couple hundred skaters that are better than me, but if you want to think that, rock and roll.
You did it.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
it. Google says number 1.
Awesome.
I did have a question about, because I figure you have your finger on the pulse of a male-dominated sport, why there's not enough female skateboarders, but
There actually is now, and as a matter of fact, you know, when Tony Hawk did the 900 live on the X Games, it was like the biggest deal ever. There's a girl now from Calgary, Canada, who's 14 who did a 1080. So that's a 180. So 360, 720, 900, 1080, and nobody's ever done that. I think she's just so little that she was able to pull that off on a mega ramp, but the first and only to do the most incredible skate trick is a 14-year-old girl from Calgary, Canada, that rides for Birdhouse, Tony Hawk's company.
excellent.
There's a lot of girl skateboarders now that are like completely laying it down that are incredible, mostly coming out of Brazil or Japan, but there's quite a few now.
Okay, the actual question I wanted to pose to you is, through your entire career, from the time you first saw a skateboard, was there a time that was just so fierce for you that you wanted to walk away?
Oh, from skateboarding?
Yes.
No, I never wanted to walk away from it, although I think the gnarliest slam was I went to do a Tony Hawk Gigantic Skate Park tour in Louisville, Kentucky. They just built this new park, and I knew that there was going to be 10,000 people there. So I went there at midnight when I landed on the flight to cruise around and check it out. There was a 20-foot full pipe, and I launched 13 feet to the top, and my back foot came off, and I just smacked my head on the ground from 13 feet above. I punctured a lung, and my brain was jiggled so loose that I thought that I was touching the ground right here, and they're like, then I threw up everywhere. They took me to the Children's Hospital by accident, which was a blessing because they wheeled me right into the regular hospital when there was a really big Friday night line, and they said that if I wouldn't have done that, then I would have bled out from the punctured lung. So when I felt a little better, I had to take a $20,000 private jet back to Philadelphia. It was probably the worst slam that I've ever taken, but I never thought for 2 seconds that I was going to stop. The only time that skateboarding really affected me, I would skate 5 hours a day as a pro, and when MTV signed on to Viva La Bam, it was 65 episodes at $300,000 a week to spend for 65 weeks on blowing shit up, flying people in, flying people out, and fixing everything. And my 5 hours slowly turned into like 2 to 1 to none, because when you have 40 people getting paid to film you, you got a boom grip dolly guy, you got the director, you got the producer, you got the exec, and they're all around getting paid. For you to try a trick for 1 hour and then you finally land it, that's just 1 second of screen time that wastes a lot of time. So I found myself getting easier tricks just to get the shot so we could get more dialogue. And I kind of realized now that I stopped trying as hard as a professional skateboarder because of the time crunch of filming with MTV. So thanks for the money and fame, but no thanks for my skateboarding career.
Thank you very much.
All right, good stuff. All right, coming up next up, I know you guys have got more questions for Bam. I know last time there were so many people disappointed they couldn't ask questions about Jackass. Let's fix that right now. What's your name?
Kim, hi again.
Hi.
So I just want to say, as someone who has followed you since the very episode of Viva La Bam, when Johnny Knoxville destroyed your Hummer,
Yeah.
I want to say we are so proud of how far you've come.
Thank you.
And the comeback you've made. And we're so glad that you found your passion for skating again, because I loved that part of you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Actually, that day when he sawed my Hummer up, he told Ryan Dunn to go in with his brand new street bike and rev the wheel in my living room at 6 in the morning. So I wake up out of bed and I come running out and I step on all these sharp tacks that Knoxville put out, and 5 years went by and I was getting these bone spur calcium deposits on my foot, and it didn't hurt to walk or run. It just hurt to jump down big shit on a skateboard. So I didn't know where these things were coming from. And then 5 years later, I'm flicking channels on the TV and it's Viva La Bam. I'm like, I don't really watch myself, but I'll do it this time. When I saw me step on the tacks, I hit pause and realized that every time I pulled out a tack on TV, that's where the bone spurs were. So Knoxville fucking ruined my money makers. So when somebody says, what would the ending of Jackass 5 be? Well, get into a fucking bare knuckle boxing ring with me, because like a DC 10, you're guaranteed to go down. 1, 2, 3, you're done.
But it's all said in Christian love, of course, right? Yes. We said this all as nice as we possibly can.
As nice as we possibly can.
That's a good question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Or is it like something deeper? Like,
It's something. It's actually something deeper, and I just kind of figured this one out. When I was 5. Some neighborhood kids, there was this tunnel underneath our highway that led to the other side. It was about this big, and we all dared each other to crawl through it. So I was the first one to go through it. And in the middle, when it was super dark, this black snake jumped out in front of me, and I popped my head on the cement on the hole, and it was gushing blood. And I'm running home with my face covered in blood at the age of 5, and I thought I was gonna die. So I'm like, I never even seen blood before. So I think it's a PTSD thing that I wasn't aware of until I now think about that.
Frankly, was it 5 seasons of Viva La Bam?
Yeah, 5.
What was your favorite to film out of all of them?
I think just having a budget to be able to fly everybody to Europe and have a tour bus, rent a Ferrari, and drive to Romania for no reason to get, and to bring my Uncle Don Vito there. He was so unappreciative of the historic architecture. I'm like, look at the Eiffel Tower, isn't it beautiful? It looks like a fucking rundown Texas oil well. They should knock it down and build new. Just so miserable. Oh, he was very miserable because he found out we all flew direct to Paris from Philadelphia, and I made him go to fucking Abu Dhabi, Constantinople, and then Berlin. He's like, you son of a bitch, I've been on a flight for 24 hours.
Wasn't for Don Vito, I would not known Bam is so cabron.
Oh yeah.
It stuck with me.
He thought the Leaning Tower of Pisa was the Leaning Tower of Pizza because there was a pizza shop at the bottom. I'm like, first of all, it's a fucking historical landmark and it's crooked, so it's probably caution taped off. There's no fucking pizza shop there. It's called Pisa.
All right, good stuff. Thank you. All right, so we got two more questions up here right now that we're going to take a quick divergence here. So what's your name? What's your question, my man?
My name's Marty. Good to see you over here, Bam. First of all, how has your mom had a heart attack? Because all the shit that y'all put her through, especially with Phil.
Yeah, with 65 episodes, you're pretty much right. I remember the first episode, we broke her, I guess it's called it was like this really antique piece of furniture that she kept talking about how nice this thing is, how expensive. So we got an exact replica made, and I smashed it with her PT Cruiser. I called her PT Loser, and she thought that it was real until we revealed it. But man, we've had an alligator in the kitchen. We painted her whole entire kitchen blue, including the forks and knives and apples and oranges. She still finds blue shit 20 years later in the house. I mean, the list goes on. We've got a whole bunch of snow in there. Turned the fucking living room into an ice skating rink. We had some pro ice skaters do the triple Lindy and shit. The list goes on, but yeah, you're right. I don't know either.
Right. So out of all of you, what is your favorite stunt and what is your least favorite stunt?
Well, the least favorite stunt would probably be my favorite stunt, because now that it's all said and done and I fell into a pit of snakes and cried and got through it, and everybody sees it on a big screen TV and laughs their ass off at my expense, it makes it all worth it.
All right, thanks a lot, my man.
Is Ray really a scared monster?
Ray Yan is like a chemist, like a scientist, and whatever ingredient is in mustard, he finds it to be completely disgusting. So yeah, if there's any kind of mustard there, he'll freak out and run away.
All right, so the last question for now. What's your name, my man?
My name is Taylor.
How you doing?
Doing good. First off, I wanted to give a big appreciation for all the skating that you've done in my youth. Between you and some of the other guys who used to skate, it was a big inspiration for me. It got me skating one step down.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, is there any footage or maybe events that we could look forward to seeing you in sometime soon, even just some like shits and giggles skate-offs?
Well, I'm not very good at the game of skate. I just like to try one trick a day and either learning it back or a new one, but I'm not the most consistent skater out there, so I just made it a point to get one skate trick a day, and if I get any more than that, then it's a bonus. But actually, somebody who I looked up to, Alfonso Rawls, a skater from the 80s, was like, Bam, I gotta say, the first thing I do when I wake up is go on my Instagram to find out where you're at and what new skate trick you're doing, and it's very inspiring. I'm like, thanks, Alf. Because you said that, I'm gonna make sure I get a trick a day for you. And he told me that about 2 years ago, so I've been sticking to the plan. It's kind of like fun having a little goal like that,
Nice. Yeah. Seeing you having your come up has been getting me excited. I work a stock room at Walmart back in Pennsylvania. We got the Tony Hawk boards in the sports section. Every now and then, some time to sneak off. I grab one of those boards off the fence and get a flip down the hall.
That's awesome.
Catches me.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care, y'all.
All right, so Bam, I've heard rumors that there's somebody at this show. I don't know if you want to say that they're your friend. I don't know if you want to say you have a beef with them. Whichever way you want to introduce this guy. Is there somebody here?
So a fella knocked on my door at Castle Bam probably about, 5 years ago, or maybe even 7, I don't know. I've been in treatment for a while, but it was a long time ago. And it was Darby Allin, and he's a pro wrestler, and he loves to skateboard. And ever since then, we've been really good friends, and we're signing next to each other. So he's gonna come up here now.
Come on out, let's give a big round of applause for AEW's Darby Allin!
Kind of like me at Castle Bam, he's got all these ramps at his house in Atlanta, so we tend to do some really similar stuff and Jackass type stunt.
So it seems like Darby's a little bit,
Check. Just make sure this shit works.
it seems like Darby has got a little beef with you, man. So you guys did a little piece on AEW the other night. Talk about that real quick.
Oh, he got himself injured, so he drove down to Tampa to, the doctor specifically told you not to skate or do anything, but you did anyway.
I thought you'd be on my side. I thought you'd say, fuck the doctor.
Well, if the doctor's telling you not to do this type of shit, then I'd probably listen to him, Dr. Avoido.
All right, Bam, I got a question for you. Who do you think would win in a fight between you and me?
Well, you're the wrestler, but you know what? Whenever they have those UFC like promo shots and they're all face to face, they get so aggro and they stare at each other's eyes, gazing that it's almost like they don't want to fucking fight. They want to kiss. So let's prove how they do it right now on the UFC.
Do you guys want to see a UFC face-off between
face-off.
Bam Magera and Darby Allin? All right. Here we go. Oh, sorry. Here we go. From Pennsylvania, Bam Magera. From parts unknown, Darby Allin for the Scaradise World Championship. Oh, what in the world? Oh, it's over. Bam Magera, he is the champion.
These guys don't want to fucking fight. They're pretty much French kissing each other.
That tasted like a hoagie.
All right, let's bring these chairs back here. Let's talk a little bit more, fellas.
You know what, dude? Darby came over my wife's sister's house for Thanksgiving, and her mom showed up and everything. He's got his head in a bowl of ice with a stopwatch, and my wife's mom was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I'm like, he's training to climb Mount Everest, and he's dead serious. And I'm not kidding, I got paid $1,000 cold plunge in this 66-degree pool for 3 minutes. It was the toughest thing for me to do. This guy's laying in it for like 30 minutes just chilling and reading a magazine. And he did not only climb Everest, took 2 years to train for it, but he brought his skateboard up there and did the highest altitude kickflip.
Yeah, he's not kidding. Darby Allin, it was fascinating. I watched your whole thing. Here's my, ascent up. Fascinating that this dude can go and do some of the most insane things on weekly TV and then be like, you know what, I'm going to go climb Mount Everest. That's insane.
What was it like climbing? Did you see like just dead bodies on the way up? Because they said 1 out of like 100 don't make it. I'm like, that's a fat chance, dude.
Yeah, we saw a lot of dead bodies actually. But the craziest thing was we'd be climbing up, and then when we summited and we were coming down, there was new dead bodies that weren't there 3 hours ago. So it was just like, oh shit, this is like really intense. So you didn't know if you were tired or if you were actually dying because your mind is so foggy. But on a better story,
well, wait a minute. You brought your skateboard up when you made it to the summit. Didn't you say it was the most out of breath ever you've been to even attempt it more than 3 times?
Well, yeah. When I had my skateboard, I did the highest elevation kickflip of all time at Camp 2, which is like 22,000 feet. But the thing that sucked about it is my skateboard had a layer of ice on it. So trying to skate on a board that has a layer of ice is like damn near impossible. And all these Sherpas have their cell phones out videotaping me thinking I'm some like pro skater, but I'm sucking and it's so hard to land a kickflip. They're like, who the fuck is this guy? But it was fun. We got the kickflip.
So when he did the highest altitude kickflip for Guinness Book of World Records, he went and filmed with Shark Week and then got a scuba outfit with a skateboard with some weights on it to do the lowest altitude kickflip for Guinness Book of World. Which one was harder?
By far the under the ocean, because we had 15 sharks swimming around me while I was trying to kickflip under the water.
That was probably tough to concentrate.
And they told me not to flail around as much, but sometimes when you're doing skate tricks, you go like, you move a lot. And I'm trying not to move my arms because there's 15 sharks around my head. It was pretty hectic.
All right, so I got a question for each one of you guys about the other one. So Darby, you've seen some of the crazy stuff that he did throughout his days doing stunts. Even though you're a wild Bam and because of the things you do, what's the one that you look back that Bam did and you're like, man, I don't even know if I would have done that one? Is there one that sticks out to you that you're like, that was pretty crazy even for young Bam to do that?
Man, it had to have been some of those skate like tricks that he would do. I'm trying to remember. It was like in the beginning of the Toy Machine video, jump off a building. You did this like, it was just, I don't know.
I was pretty well known for dropping in off of things. I kind of set the trend for that when I was about 17, and I was pretty much going the biggest at that time. But man, this guy sends me some clips. I'm like, hey, I hear you're doing a wrestling match at the stadium in Philly this week. No, I just got ran over by a bus in New York, so I can't make it. I'm like, was this like a skit that you're from? He's like, no, I really got ran over by a bus. And then, but like, you got yourself lit on fire. You fell into. I can't even count how many things that I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, if you just scroll through Darby and I's conversation, the clips that I see are nuts. I've never actually got to make it to watch him in a ring yet.
So let's talk about, but you were at AEW the other night, weren't you, about a month ago?
No, they played it on the big screen. He came down to Tampa when they were in Orlando, and he was too injured to wrestle that day.
Yeah, the doctors wouldn't let me wrestle, so I thought instead it'd be fun to film a skit with Bam and get it on the show. So
do you guys have any plans or any hopes to try and do something a little bit more at the AEW ring? We've already seen your MMA debuts out here where you got knocked out cold in the weigh-ins. But
if Bam wants to come on AEW and smack a fool with a fucking skateboard, I don't, like, by all means.
Are you listening out there? Are you listening out there, AEW?
I would like to, sit down and watch the whole thing and see how it operates before I make any decisions like that. Because I honestly haven't seen it yet. I just see the clips that he sends me, like the quick clips, not the full match.
So I'm going to ask you guys out there, how many of you guys want to see a buddy cop drama between these two? I I think that the two of these guys would have there would be a hilarious, whether it's a reality show, whether it's a drama. Can you guys see these two doing something together?
I just gotta ask, like, what have you ever like looked at your watch and like, shit, I gotta go wrestle in 5 minutes, and you're putting on like an hour show, knowing that you're gonna be jumping off that onto a table, you're probably gonna get fall down some stairs or whatever. Are you ever like, I'm just not in the mood right now?
No.
I feel kind of sore from yesterday.
No, honestly, I'm always in the mood to get thrown down a flight of stairs.
Fair enough.
So if any of you out there watch AEW, you know that Darby recently did a spot that was probably one of the most painful spots just to watch, where they have the steps that go up into the ring, and he actually got backdropped onto those steps, took the shot straight with his back. They might want to know, how is your back doing after this crazy spot that you did?
Oh, it's good now.
Well, it was for a while. It was very broken.
Yeah, it was fun for a while, but now it's good. Like, I was skating all day yesterday and today and stuff, so it's great now. Yeah, I do I'm crazy about my physical recovery. So crazy.
So do either of you feel like, hey, I know this is going to sound odd as a question, but do you both feel like that you've reached your pinnacle as, you know what, I think I probably pushed the limits of extreme as where I could go with my stunts? Or are you like, you know what, I think I might have something a little more extreme in me from where I've been at this point? Now that's for both of you guys, you can answer.
I mean, not really. I honestly, is what I think. I feel better than I've ever have, because I, number one, stopped drinking, stopped doing drugs, and I do ginger shots and shit now, and I eat really healthy, and for probably well over a decade, all I knew was waking up feeling so hungover that I would throw up and drinking a beer just to know that I'll feel better. And I was doing that hair of the dog vicious cycle for well over a decade. So now that I wake up not hungover, I forgot what that felt like. And I'm like, man, I feel really good. I never want to go back to that again. So, and stretching really matters. Like, I lay on a table and Danny stretches me an hour a day, and it's the most effective thing ever, especially for a skateboarder. I really think if you're a pro skateboarder, then everybody should have a stretch coach. They'll have masseuses at like the green room of like an X Games, but like, which is effective, to rub your muscles, but to stretch your muscles is what a skateboarder would need. And luckily, my fuck piece is a stretch coach.
Darby, let's take this question to you. And do you feel like you've reached the pinnacle of extreme, or are you always trying to find the next craziest thing to do? Like,
well, everybody asked me what I was going to do after Mount Everest, and the only logical step is space. So
I was just going to say, like, to go climb a mountain on the moon.
No, I do want to go to space. That's the next goal. That's the next goal. Final answer.
Are you going to do a kickflip on the moon?
I would.
Or just be gravity-free and attempt to do one would be pretty epic.
Yeah, no, but honestly, after Everest, I'm really trying to just stop and smell the roses, because that was so fucking crazy.
Yeah, I want to make sure you guys give another round of applause. For him to be able to do what he does and climb Mount Everest is an incredible feat, and definitely deserves all the praise. All right, anybody else out there have any more questions before we get out of here? We have Bam, we have Darby up here. You guys have any questions for either one of these fellows? Or are you stapled to your chairs out there? Oh, we got one coming up here. Let's see what he's got. Coming up here, man. What's your name?
My name is Shadow.
Shadow, what's up? What's your question?
Darby Allin. I seen when you did the skateboard thing off the ropes and hit the guy in the back.
Yeah.
That was pretty gnarly.
Yeah, no, it's important for me, because I was a skater before I was a wrestler, so to bring the world of skating into wrestling means everything to me. And my very first ever skateboard was a Bam element board back when I was in 8th grade, so it's kind of a cool full circle moment that I'm making out with them.
So Bam, you're the reason why I got banned from a skate park.
Well, you're welcome.
It was closed, and I had a board, and I wanted to skate so bad. So I climbed the fence, and I went over, and I was skating, going off the ramp and stuff.
Yeah.
And here comes security.
Well, did they give you a ticket or just told you to get out of there?
I was banned.
Oh, banned. Well, I said that I was sorry and I meant it.
You're good, man. Also, have y'all ever thought about doing jujitsu?
I actually took Taekwondo from the age of 6 till like 13, and you know, it actually, I was doing these giant one-foots on a skateboard, and I think that had a lot to do with it. I completely forgot everything now, but at the time I made it to brown belt, and I just didn't turn to a black belt because I didn't have the $1,000 to take the next lesson. So
I've been doing jiu-jitsu for about a year, been doing striking for 2.
nice.
Also, one more question, I'm sorry. What's your inspiration for your makeup?
There's not really much to it, to be honest. It's just from my uncle drunk driving when I was 5 and getting in a car crash and dying when I was in the car with him. So I paint half my face because wrestling-wise, 50% of me is dead inside. But I feel fully alive here today.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, and y'all have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot. All right, coming up here to the mic. What's your name, my man?
Hi, my name is Sean, and my question is for Darby. What was it like working with Sting?
It's incredible. He's like, being as long as he's been in the game for, he's the most humble and chill guy of all time. A lot of those older guys have these crazy egos, and it's just like unbearable to be around him, but he is so chill. He forgets he's like Sting half the time, and he's incredible. The kindest guy ever. I inspire to be like that when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I just thought that, you know, the dynamic between you two and you guys being like a tag team and everything, I thought it was so awesome.
Yeah, no, it was cool that he's able to finish his career on his own terms in AEW. So
yeah, and you were a part of it too.
Yeah, I talked him back into getting in the ring at 60 years old. So
well, that was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man. All right, it looks like we're gonna start this one and end this one with the one and the only Barbara.
Just out of curiosity, from listening to you speak when you skateboard, what is the relation to surfboarding?
I've never surfboarded, so I don't
That's the thing. That I tried to surf and I cannot do it, but I think skateboarding has definitely generated from a surfboard. You know, they put wheels on a piece of wood and people were like carving banks like it was a wave. So that's definitely the similarity there. But as a pro skateboarder, I picked up snowboarding pretty good, but surfing, I just can't do it. I'm either getting crushed by the wave or I'm too far out and I can't catch the wave. And one time somebody pushed me with the wave and I stood up once. That's as far as I got. Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Okay, so before we get up and do our picture and all that, we want to make sure you guys know the next panel today at 7 o'clock is Final Destination Bloodlines. That's going to be an awesome panel with Richard Harmon and Anna Lohr. Cannot wait to do that. But before we get there, I want to make sure you guys give a huge round of applause for these two fine gentlemen up here. Great fellas, Mr. Bam Magera and Mr. Darby Allin.